It was once a love story carved in the stones of southern France. But today, it's a symbol of everything that broke between them. Chateau Miraval. To some, it's just a vineyard. To Angelina Jolie, it's a memory she can no longer bear to touch. Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt once shared a story that defined modern Hollywood. The partnership lasted over a decade, combining two of the most recognizable names in the film industry. Their relationship produced 6 children and countless headlines. Among their many joint ventures, one property became the centerpiece of their shared legacy, Chateau Miraval, a 2,200-acre estate and winery in the south of France. Years after their separation, that same property remains a source of legal conflict, emotional tension, and public fascination. In 2008, Jolie and Pitt purchased Chateau Miraval as a shared home and investment. The property included a historic mansion, expansive vineyards, olive groves, and a private recording studio. The couple used it as a family retreat away from Hollywood. The location became symbolic for both, representing stability and privacy at a time when their fame attracted constant attention. In 2014, the estate hosted their private wedding ceremony. The event was intimate, attended only by close family, with the couple's children participating in the ceremony. For several years, Miraval served as the family's main residence in Europe. The relationship began to deteriorate publicly in 2016. Jolie filed for divorce in September of that year, citing irreconcilable differences. The filing came shortly after an incident on a private flight that drew attention from law enforcement and child welfare authorities. Although no criminal charges were filed, the event marked the beginning of a long and complex legal separation. Since that time, the divorce between Jolie and Pitt has expanded into multiple legal disputes, including custody arrangements and property ownership. The divorce became final in 2024, but the legal battle over Miraval continues. According to court filings, Pitt has accused Jolie of selling her stake in the French estate without his consent, violating what he claims was a mutual agreement. The lawsuit, filed in Los Angeles County Superior Court, argues that Jolie sold her shares to a company indirectly controlled by Russian businessman Yuri Shefler, known for owning the Jolie Group. Pitt's team claims the sale was made in secret and with intent to harm his interests in the business. Jolie's legal representatives have consistently denied those claims, describing the transaction as lawful and transparent. According to documents submitted by Jolie, the decision to sell her stake was not financial revenge but a step toward emotional closure. In her 2024 filing, Jolie stated that neither she nor her 6 children had returned to Miraval since 2016. The filing included a statement that read, "To this day, the children and I have never again set foot on the property, given its connection to the painful events leading to the divorce." The document added that the events leading to the separation were emotionally difficult for both Jolie and the children. Legal analysts note that the Miraval dispute illustrates a larger issue common in high-asset divorces, the info difference between emotional detachment and legal ownership. For Pitt, the property represents continuity. The vineyard has commercial value, artistic significance, and sentimental meaning. For Jolie, the property represents a past that she no longer wishes to revisit. Sources close to the actress told media outlets such as Shooter Scoop that Jolie is done with it, and that the house is a wound she doesn't need reopened. Miraval remains profitable. The winery produces award-winning rosé wines, distributed globally under the Miraval label. Pitt has continued to invest in its operations, partnering with winemakers and expanding production. For Jolie, the connection ended the moment the family left the property. In interviews and court statements, Jolie has emphasized that the estate became inseparable from memories of conflict. Since the separation, she has focused on humanitarian work, film direction, and raising her children. The difference in approach between Jolie and Pitt has turned a personal matter into an ongoing public conflict. Pitt's legal filings describe Jolie's sale as an intentional effort to cause harm. Jolie's filings describe the lawsuit as an attempt to control her even after the end of the marriage. This divergence of perspective, control versus closure, defines the current stage of their dispute. Court records show that Jolie's share of Miraval was held through her company, Nouvelle LLC. In October 2021, Jolie sold Nouvelle to Tenuta del Mondo, a subsidiary of the Jolie Group. The transaction gave Scheffler's company partial control over the winery. Pitt then filed a lawsuit in 2022, arguing that Jolie's sale was invalid under French law and violated their prior agreement. Pitt's legal team sought damages and requested the court to undo the sale. Jolie countersued, accusing Pitt of attempting to seize control of the business and retaliating against her for filing for divorce. While the lawsuits proceed, Miraval continues to operate under partial management from both sides. Reports from French business registries indicate that Pitt remains active in its production arm, overseeing branding and expansion. Jolie, meanwhile, has taken no further involvement since the sale. Her representatives emphasize that her decision to withdraw was permanent and based on personal boundaries, not financial strategy. The emotional context of the dispute has drawn significant public attention. Jolie's written statements reveal the psychological weight the property carries for her. The reference to painful events has been interpreted by legal observers as a direct connection to the 2016 flight incident and the subsequent separation. Pitt has denied allegations of abuse, but the investigation and custody discussions left lasting divisions within the family. The fact that Jolie and the children have never returned to Miraval reinforces how deeply that period affected their sense of home and safety. Beyond the personal dimension, the Miraval dispute also highlights a broader theme about ownership and memory. For Pitt, preserving the vineyard appears to represent maintaining legacy, an effort to protect something built during years of partnership. For Jolie, leaving Miraval represents recovery, an effort to separate the present from a painful history. Both views reflect legitimate human responses to loss. The difference lies in how each defines closure. The media continues to follow every development. Public interest remains high because the Miraval estate was once a symbol of love and success. When Jolie and Pitt purchased the property in 2008, they described it as their family base. Architectural magazines featured it as an example of sustainable restoration and modern French elegance. The recording studio on the estate even hosted musical projects involving famous artists. Over a decade later, the same property now appears in headlines as evidence of irreconcilable division. In statements made through representatives, Jolie has emphasized that her only remaining interest is in protecting her family's well-being. Legal filings describe Pitt's efforts to maintain full control of Miraval as a continuation of the power dynamics that existed during the marriage. Pitt's team, on the other hand, portrays the situation as a breach of trust and a violation of mutual understanding. Both sides continue to present their cases in court, and the final resolution may take years. Observers of celebrity law note that the Miraval case stands out because it mixes business complexity with emotional gravity. The winery is valued at hundreds of millions of dollars, but its symbolic worth far exceeds its market price. Every legal filing reopens the public narrative of their breakup. Every media statement revives memories of a relationship that once defined Hollywood's idea of enduring love. As time passes, the contrast between their public images grows sharper, one focusing on artistic expansion, the other on humanitarian work and privacy. Despite ongoing disputes, both actors continue their separate careers. Pitt remains active in film production through his company Plan B Entertainment and has shown interest in architecture and design projects. Jolie continues to direct, write, and advocate for human rights through her foundation and work with the United Nations. In public appearances, both maintain professionalism and avoid direct commentary on each other. Still, Miraval remains the unresolved intersection of their personal and professional lives. Recent court motions filed in 2024 suggest that the legal battle is entering another phase. Pitt's side is seeking to reverse the sale and obtain damages, while Jolie's side has filed motions to dismiss several claims. Legal experts believe that the case will hinge on contractual interpretation and jurisdiction between French and U.S. laws. Until a final decision is reached, the estate remains partially owned through contested structures.